building a 7-figure business is a tremendous accomplishment. It's one of the things that is like a pinnacle, right? Like it's like I hit that number. The first time you hit it, it's amazing. And I think the thing is like most entrepreneurs or many entrepreneurs get stuck at a plateau.
You hit a wall, you hit a ceiling, and you can't get to the next place. Everything needs a framework in how things happen. Who are the people I serve and who are the people I hire to serve the people I serve? There are a lot of foundational frameworks out there. And then the next.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Special Ops Podcast, where we give you guys real actionable insight for business as entrepreneurs. Today, we're going to dive into why your 7-figure business is stuck. Look, building a 7-figure business is a tremendous accomplishment. It's one of the things that is like a pinnacle, right? Like it's like I hit that number, and like the first time you hit it, it's amazing. It feels great because it's like this isn't just a hobby anymore. Like this is a business that's got legs, it has potential on growing and moving it forward. And I think the thing is like most entrepreneurs or many entrepreneurs get stuck at a plateau. And the good news is that there's a way to break through that plateau. And so today, that's what we want to dive into.
Because we've seen it time and time again, right?
Absolutely.
Like over and over and over again. It's one of the things that we noticed, right?
Yes.
People are clicking along. They're doing well. And they launch their business. And before they even know it, they're 7
stuck.
figures.
Yeah.
No, before they even know it, they're at 7 figures. And they think everything is great. It's kind of like when you're working out, right? You finally get into almost shape, and then you can't lose the last
like,
10
hey,
pounds.
I got a little muscle here.
Same thing happens in business. You hit a wall, you hit a ceiling, and you can't get to the next place. And so we brought in client after client after client in our company, Shockwave, which has COO services. We literally come in to help them get unstuck.
So today we're going to share our blueprint for getting unstuck.
Right. And the 3 most common mistakes that most entrepreneurs make.
That virtually every entrepreneur that we worked with has made.
Virtually every entrepreneur I'd say that 2 for sure in everyone, 3 in almost everyone. So we're going to identify those today, and then we're going to tell you how to fix it.
Yes. So we're going to share our guide to do that. So let's cover those 3 quickly.
Sure.
And then we'll dive into them.
Well, we're not going to be too quick.
Let's cover each of them.
I know you like to be quick,
but
let's not be too quick. Let's do this. Let's just talk about each mistake in a silo.
Okay.
And then we can talk about how when they're all fixed at the end, it all comes together. Cool?
Perfect. Let's do that. So what's mistake number 1 then?
No foundational framework.
Okay.
Talk about this all the time.
So we talk about it all the time. But if you're just tuning in, you might be like, what the heck is a foundational framework?
Everything needs a framework in how things happen. So a foundational framework, and just the simplest way I can explain it, is just what is the foundation your company was built on, right? Mm-hmm. So what is your company there for?
Its purpose.
Right. Its cause or its mission. Yeah. What is it there for?
Why does it exist? What's the whole point?
Why does it exist? Who are the people I serve? And who are the people I hire to serve the people I serve?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? What are my goals? What am I trying to accomplish? Not today, but over the next 10 years. What's the big picture of where's the target? And what is the target?
Well, and I think this is great because a lot of entrepreneurs, like, I'm just going to start a business because I want to make some money, or there's a need that they're trying to get, right? And it's legitimate. But then it's not really enough to sustain the business or to excite other people to work for you to help your business grow.
Right.
Right. So this is the foundational framework that actually brings all that stuff into focus.
Right. Right. And then how do we work? How do we execute? And so for us, we call that WAVE. There are a lot of foundational frameworks out there, but the one that we use, the one that we created is WAVE.
Right.
Written vision, absolute focus, values-driven future, and execution plan. Written vision. What's the big picture? Where are we trying to go in 10 years? What are the things that we need to hit at 3 and 5 years that gets us on the right path to that 10 years?
Yeah. And I think a lot of people have like a vague idea, but few people...
It doesn't matter if they have a vague idea, because we're going to get to that in a second. Because it doesn't matter that you know that.
Right.
You know who it matters? The people who work for you. Because when they don't know, they're all in this lake going in the dark and just spinning their wheels for nothing.
Thinking that they're doing something that's contributing, but maybe they're going a completely different direction than you intended.
Right.
Yeah. But
then after our 3 and our 5 year, right? Now we need 1 year. What are we committed to getting done to this year? Notice I didn't say goals.
I love that commitment.
What are we committed to? What is our, we're not going home until this is done. So it needs to be realistic. It needs to be achievable.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And not like hopes and dreams. This is real serious. And that's our written vision. And we share that with our team. We share that with our people because I can make really good decisions for our company if I know where we're trying to go over the next few years versus what I'm supposed to do right now today.
Right.
And too many people, you just need to get this one project done. Just get this one project done.
But does it align with everything else that you're planning on?
It's so much easier for them to know what the full picture is. And then the next part, absolute focus. Very simply, we're all entrepreneurs. We're all squirrel chasers. Squirrel. So we get an idea. There's always opportunities.
Always opportunities.
And so absolute focus allows you to identify what you're absolutely focused on in this business. We're looking to help people in the wellness of their mind, body, and spirit through supplements.
Whatever it is. Whatever
it is. We're here to make 1,000 lawns look better so that HOAs make less money. I don't know. But you have that absolute focus. And so if your mission is to help people in wellness through supplements, we don't go buy real estate with that business because it doesn't fit that mission. Oh, well, Emma, yes, it does because I can have a manufacturing plant. No, that's too far off. The manufacturing plant now becomes another LLC. You need separate resources for that. That's a separate skill set.
A wellness retreat.
Okay. This is why we fight so much. But that's going to be your absolute focus. And the next thing is values-driven future. We spend a lot of time as marketers.
Yes.
Understanding our avatar. Understanding the person that we're selling to. We should understand the person that's selling to the people we're selling to.
Our people.
Who's my voice? Who's my face? And it's every employee I have. That's my marketers, that's my customer service people, that's my operations people, that's my data people. So what are the things, and I'm not saying everybody should have a different set of skill sets that complement me in the business. I would love to hire someone that had my exact skill set over and over again. So perfect.
Just the skill set.
That's fair. But I would love to do that. But it makes a lot more sense for me to hire Richard, who doesn't necessarily have the talents I have. He has all the talents I don't. Or Tiago, who does have the talents I have.
Some of them,
that's fair.
Yeah.
I'm a lot older, but he does have the talents I have, but his experience in life is different. So his approach is different. So he's able to think through things that I would never think through. So he's a very compliment of me and so on and so forth. Soccer can do all kinds of stuff. I have no idea what he's talking about half the time. It's not his accent. It's so brilliant. And so, but they all have a certain amount of values that just comes with them. They're all proactive problem solvers.
Yes.
We were talking about this. I can't stand a person that I say, hey, do you know how to, or do you know where?
I'll wait till you come back to me. I was waiting for you to respond or to find a time. That isn't
where I was going with that at all. So you didn't let me get there. You didn't let me get there. So I can't stand when I say to someone, I cannot stand, hey, do you know how to get to here? And they have a phone in their hand that they could just look it up and they go, I don't know. And they just wait for you to do it. I want someone who's going to be proactive and who's going to go and just, I don't, but I'm going to find out in 3 seconds because I have a computer in my hand. Right. And so that's important to me. Someone with integrity is important to me.
Right.
That is so important to me. When you tell somebody that you're going to do something, you do it. And they trust what you say. I'm okay with brutal honesty. I'm okay with brutal honesty as long as it's respectful. I'm not okay. I'm not okay with someone who's going to placate because they think I'm going to get mad and allow me to make a mistake.
No.
So I need you to have integrity. We have others, but that's what I mean.
Those are our values.
That's what I mean by values-driven future. They have this. They share those same values, and they hold other people accountable to those same values.
Right.
So that's how I build my team. It's going to be a team that's going to take me from a pretty decent operator to the best in the industry.
And then execution plan.
Execution plan.
Right.
Execution plan is how we actually execute. What is the path? What is the map? So I have a map and we fill in the blanks and then we do the things that I filled in. And that's how we do it every time.
Right.
And that allows us
repeatable processes.
Right.
Yeah.
But it allows us so much.
Right.
It allows our team to not have to come to me for every little thing. Hey, Emma, what's the next step? Hey, Emma, what should I do next? Hey, Emma, what's it?
Yeah.
So yeah.
So that's a foundational framework, and they may have their own. You may use other tools or resources. We've come up with ours, which is Wave. But having some sort of foundational framework that is not just, it's a complete guide. It's not just
it's a
processes or SOPs,
a picture
but
of the
it's a
company.
full picture.
It's kind of like a family tree. It's just you just maybe not a family tree. Maybe that's not a good example, but it's a map. It's a map. It's a roadmap to how we do things and why we do things, which is so much more important than
and a way
how.
to communicate that to everybody on your team, so they're on the same page.
And you communicate every bit of that.
Yeah.
Every piece of that. I have posters in my office that like big posters in my office.
Yeah.
And then we have 3x5 cards that everyone on our team gets.
Yeah.
And it's important to us that they have those readily available because I want them to know.
Yeah. It's a cheat sheet, a little map, so that they know when they're showing up, this is what's expected. This is where we're going. So no foundational framework is mistake number one. Mistake number two is no operational framework.
Great, I got a plan.
Okay, so what's the difference then between a foundational framework and an operational framework?
Foundational framework is where we're going, what we're doing, what's important to us.
Okay.
Right? Your operational framework is actually how you get those things done. So this is what I'm getting done and why, and this is how I'm getting it done. So scope is what we use. That is the acronym for our operational framework. So setting your vision, which is actually Wave, is number one, because you have to have a foundational framework or your operational framework falls apart.
Right.
So S, if you got Wave, you're done. S is done. C is, do you remember? Let's see.
Create processes.
Oh, wow. Good. Great job. So create processes means?
These could be like your SOPs. It's your way of completing the task of whatever it is that you're doing. So there's a consistent way.
Yeah. It's a way of documenting how to complete the task. That's important, documenting. Because if Sokka's out and Sokka has to do a bunch of work and it has to be done today, and Richard's like, well, I don't have login for that client's dashboard. I don't know what email's supposed to go out. I don't know, that's a problem. But when Sokka has documented his process,
then it's there.
Right. Yeah. And then additionally, here's what's great about when you document a process. I don't know what it is certain of us. And it's actually usually the business owner, to be honest, the person who would never be able to do the process in a million years, right? We can look at it and go, why on earth are you doing it this way? This is like 3 times harder and longer. You should do it that way. When we have a documented process, we can then go through them, and we do about every 6 months, and really look at being efficient and effective. Additionally, you may look at something and be like, wow, I'm paying somebody $120,000 a year, and this is a $20 an hour task, and they're doing it 20 hours a month.
Right.
I could be hiring a VA, and this person is a revenue producer, right? You really want to create those processes. And
operational excellence.
Right. And so creating those processes and then reviewing them is part of operational excellence. Creating good communication channels is operational excellence. Almost every business, when they start out, Perry Belcher, I'm going to call you out here. This man, as a matter of fact, right now, I'm in text with him. I'm in Facebook Messenger with him. I'm on Instagram Messenger with him. We have a Slack channel that I'm in with him. And this man would send me carrier pigeons if he could figure out how to get me messages. So creating good communication channels amongst your team is so important. For our team, it's FYIs, need to know, updates, call, communications all go through email. Things that are more up to the minute, day to day, that keep things moving, because if I have to wait for someone to answer an email all day, it's going to slow me down, go into Slack. If it's an emergency, it goes into Slack first. And depending on the level of emergency, if too much time has gone by and someone's in deep work, you call their phone.
Right.
And so we have WhatsApp that our team uses, except for we have a few of our team are in America, and they generally use regular phone, but you know what I'm saying. So this is the way we communicate with each other. If my phone rings and it's Sarah Horvat, and she knows I'm on calls all day, she books them.
Right. It's probably important.
I know that if this call is going to be an hour, I need to somehow figure out how to find out what it is that she needs from me, because I've created that channel, which creates operational excellence, because it allows me to be very efficient with my time because I know where I need to focus. So if something comes through in Slack and I'm on a call or we're sitting here, I don't need to look at it. If my phone rings, we're going to stop recording our podcast and I'm going to step outside and take a call. Right. So that's operational excellence.
People development.
People development is probably my favorite. You and I fight the most about this. We fight them. I'm fire fast. Get rid of them. But he wears me down and I let them stay. I don't think I've ever, and I don't want to get into firing because that's not what people development is, but I don't think I've ever wanted to fire them and thought later, oh, I'm really glad I didn't fire them. Never have thought that.
Right.
So, but people development is such a fun thing that we get to do in our business.
Yeah.
Because we get to watch our people grow and learn. Like I look at Julie, our first employee.
I know.
I look at Richard, who he was when he came on versus
who he is now.
And I don't take credit for that, but the environment that I put him in really helped him get there.
Well, there's an opportunity that's presented to him, and then it's up to every person whether or not they capitalize on those opportunities.
Right.
By the way, same for every business.
Right.
Every entrepreneur. Everybody.
Right.
So
mentorship, leadership, watching people grow is such a rewarding aspect of our job if we're good people. Some people really don't like that, and that's on them. But people development also, here's why it's important. As your business scales and your business grows, tribal knowledge is so important. Turnover is so costly. So if you're going to grow your business, you have to grow your people to grow with that business. Because they didn't start with this company knowing how to do, they didn't start with your company, a brand new startup, knowing what to do at $100 million. $100 million is a completely different ballgame.
Right.
That's my favorite.
Right.
I love $100 million. That's my favorite company. But it takes people a lot and a lot of patient time of explaining all of the reasons why. Why do we look at the merchant accounts every day? Why do we look at it every single day? I'm not going to explain that on this call, but when you understand why, you start to learn how you need to grow and learn in order to get to that point, because this is what we're watching for here so that we can scale to here. And so people development, so important. And then we have another execution plan.
Right.
Because we have our execution plan, which is I named it both, I know. Acronyms are hard. So with WAVE, your execution plan is what you're going to do when. Your execution plan and scope is how you make sure that execution happens, because this is very broad. If I hand you a bunch of stuff and say, hey, Travis, get this done, see you in a year, I'm going to come back and you're going to go, frick. That's his favorite word, by the way.
Okay.
Sure. When you forget something, that's your favorite word. Frick. You do the same thing every time. Your eyes close and you clench up. And so, and that's people. Right?
Sure.
So I need a cadence in order to take those 1 year commitments, break them down into what we're going to be doing quarterly. And then I need a weekly cadence to check in on you.
Right.
Are we on track for this? Do you need resources? Have you ran into a problem? Is there an issue? Because in the day-to-day of running your business, these goals are above that.
Right.
The day-to-day of your business is working in your business. So you need to break away from your business for 90 minutes a week, 90 minutes every other week, and you need to work on your business.
Here's the thing, too, is I laugh because that's true of relationships. This is a side tangent, so sorry, but
you're not sorry, but go ahead, relationship coach.
Well, okay, in marriages, if you're not spending at least 90 minutes a week with your partner talking about the managing of your household or your life or whatever, it's going to fall apart. Your relationship's going to break down. Things aren't going to happen well.
I kind of feel like if I spent 90 minutes a week talking to my spouse, it would break down.
In general, this is
just kidding. Love you, Gabe.
But it is true for your business too, right?
Right.
It's you have to spend the time on it to actually manage the operations of things that need to happen, not just doing the things that keeps your business going. Mm-hmm. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what's number 3?
So number 3, the other big mistake is really it's
the biggest mistake, and just before you announce it, it's even the one we made.
It's the easiest one to make.
Knowing that going into a business to help other people not make this mistake, we also made it. Go ahead, what is it?
Yeah, it's the founder becoming the bottleneck. Everything's got to come through me. I got to make the decision, and I'm not willing to pass off those responsibilities to other people.
I need to be CC'd in every email.
Yeah.
I need to be the one that says yes or no. Nobody
can make the decisions like I can, or as good at decisions as I can, or nobody can do this. I have to be able to do this.
So I will say this. There are a lot of founders that we've worked with that can I couldn't make as good of a decision as they can. They have a lot more knowledge.
Sure. Specialties in different areas.
That's a box, not the whole business.
Yeah.
That's a small amount of what needs to happen. When I need to call you to add a phone number to our 44 customer service phone numbers because we have a new product line, when you need to be...
Really? You need to be involved with that? Really? No.
No. No. Why are you... My favorite line is, I don't know. I pay you to do that. Can you tell me if we need that or not? That's my favorite line. And I don't mean that to be condescending. Well, yes, I do. I absolutely do. Who am I kidding? But I don't mean that to be... I really want them to understand, like,
You're making a point.
Offloaded that because I trusted you to do that.
Right.
So you feel like you need to bring this to me because somewhere, at some point in your life, someone made you feel like you needed to get all the boxes checked. I don't want to work with people like that. If you need me to touch it last so it's my fault, that's not necessary. I own the business. Everything's my fault. I'm your boss. Everything's my fault. I hired you. It's my fault. There you go. Now go run. Go get it done. Yeah. And if you screw it up, come tell me you screwed it up and give me 3 ways that we're going to fix it and which one you'd like to go with.
Great.
That's the decision I'm willing to make.
Yeah.
Those are the decisions I'm willing to make. So all these owners create this bottleneck. And like we worked with one guy. Oh God, it was a nightmare.
Which one? We've had several.
That's true. It wasn't even that him or his business was a nightmare. He just really wanted to be like, hey, I don't mind. I would be like, hey, dropping so-and-so into BCC so he doesn't need to be bothered with this. Oh no, guys, I want to stay on top of it. We're scheduling a call. Why do you feel like you're so unimportant that you need to be involved in all this little, and his business couldn't grow because of it.
Right.
And so that's a big one that it's just such a big one and so hard to let go of. So how do you fix it? You don't know?
Emma. I call Emma.
I call you too.
I mean, to be candid.
Become best friends with Emma Rainbow.
But if that's not
here's how you have to fix it. One, you need to build trust. You didn't build enough trust. A lot of the times, and I'm just going to be really frank, a lot of the times that people have created a bottleneck in their business that is them, it's because they're a narcissist. Me too. Nobody can do this. Nobody else can do this. Untrue. It's untrue. It's untrue. The clients will all leave. I took 30 days off in May. I went to the UK and had I was at sea for 2 weeks, and then I was running around the UK for 2 weeks. I got on 3 phone calls, 2 hours each, and that's it. And that was only because we were in the middle of a lawsuit.
With helping a client, yeah.
I wrote the book.
I was going to say, because it's not like you're not available, because you were available to answer stuff or do you think you weren't taking phone calls? You didn't need to be on
there's never a point that I'm not available for my staff. There's never a point that I'm not available for my staff. And if for some reason it's a big life event and I need to take off a day, then tag you're it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to leave them
high and dry.
Never.
Yeah.
But I still was able to take 30 days off. They still ran the business. They got a ton done.
Yeah.
They did a great job and everything was fine.
Here's the thing, that felt like a huge accomplishment too for us, right?
That was a massive accomplishment for us. That was because in the first few years, what I created was a fear.
Mm-hmm.
We had a couple of issues, and you're always going to have a couple issues.
Sure.
You will never have greatness without failure. You will never do big things without big catastrophes. That just is.
Get comfortable in the mess.
And I've always been comfortable in a mess. But the things that bothered me and scared me was like, Richard goes tell client X this. Client X comes to me and said, Emma, you said, because it's the same thing. The way I had to work backwards from that, I went on a vacation 2 years ago. It was supposed to be a really, really great time and 10 days. And I was really excited. We were 3 years into our business and I was like, this is the time I'm going to be able to do it.
Yep.
And I had one prick of a employee that called me every single frickin' day about the dumbest things.
That were unnecessary.
Pop-up banners that didn't need to be ordered for 2 months. Like, it was just crazy. And then I realized that what I had created, and here's why I created it. I was so afraid that clients would be upset. And it's because I didn't know my own value. So, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we make mistakes. We're human. I'm human. guess what? All girls poop. Like, get over it. You know what I mean? Like, everybody poops.
Everybody.
Come on. Everybody that's living. So everybody makes mistakes.
Right.
This is a thing. This is just what it is. It's just what it is. And so when I could let go of that, and then like, again, I'm going to go back to, we're all a little bit narcissistic. We're all narcissists, because if we weren't, we wouldn't be doing this. You entrepreneurs, and to have big dreams, you have to have an unbelievable amount of self-belief and self-assurance.
Sure.
You just believe in me. That's okay. You also believe in Jesus. I understand. You just follow Jews everywhere. So if you can reframe the way you're thinking, and you can say, I must not be a really great hirer if I'm so afraid to let these people do things.
Who I've hired.
Well, no, of course I'm the best hirer in the world. Only me, only I could do this. You didn't get that, and I'm sorry, but if you can reframe your mind to that, well, of course I'm a good hirer. Well, why don't I trust these people? And so here's to create yourself in a new way that you're not the bottleneck. You spend time with your people and you build trust. You give them things that isn't going to be a catastrophe for you, because that's the fear.
Right.
This is going to be a catastrophe. I'm going to be embarrassed. I'm going to fail. It's going to be all their fault. If it's going to be someone's fault, it's going to be mine. Mm-hmm. If I cost myself a bunch of money, if an employee does, also, who cares? Like, really? Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. Run with it. Great job. Now I get to give you a little bit more.
Yeah.
Now I get to give you a little more. And now when you screw up, because they're going to screw up, because you screw up, because everybody screws up. When they come back, you don't get pissed off. You don't take it off their plate. You don't run. What are the 3 things that you think are possibilities that to either fix this or make it so that it never happens again? What would you go with? Why? And if you disagree with them, if you think there's a better way, by the way, my team has sometimes come up with way better solutions than me. So what is the path forward? Why would you do that? Let's talk about that. Now they know how to think through it next time. And that mistake will eventually turn into a win for you.
Yeah.
And over and over and over again. And so I spent 2 years ago really kicking myself. And then I spent the whole next year rebuilding my relationship with our team, rebuilding my relationship with you, because I didn't trust you either, which there was no reason for it, except for I had this real heavy weight and I was overwhelmed. And the only thing I could do to make myself feel comfortable in the stress of it all is hold on to it so tight it couldn't grow. And that is simply how you fix that.
Starting letting go. Well, here's the other thing is like
building trust, and then letting things go.
Yeah. And I'll say that these things essentially count. I think they compound on each other too, right? Because as you're developing, at least for our processes, as you're developing your people, they should be able to be capable. And if you're documenting your process as well, right, then there's a path for those things that you're doing regularly so that they can actually execute and take those things over.
Right.
So
this is why you create processes. Right. You have a good hiring process. You have a good onboarding process. You have a good people development process, and you have a really good offboarding process.
Right.
When someone doesn't fit, we learn this. When someone doesn't fit and they cause stress, you eliminate them. Mm-hmm. And because you have your foundational framework and you have your operational framework, you've created a situation where you're not the bottleneck. That 7-figure ceiling, you just blew through it, and you'll blow through it so fast.
Right.
Great talk.
Okay, so this is good. Look, thanks guys for listening. We have some tools and resources that we're going to make available in our Visionary Vault. So make sure you go to specialopspodcast.com to sign up for free access to that information. And please, if you enjoyed this, you got value out of it, please like and subscribe, and we will catch you next time at Special Ops Podcast.